We put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.
32 years after Jurassic Park brought dinosaurs to life, both in the first iconic movie and in this movie's world, most of them have died off due to disease and climate incompatibility. So we're back to the same old formula: a forgotten island that's been untouched since the InGen days, a corrupt pharma company trying to acquire dino DNA to monopolize a part of the market, a mercenary group out for a quick buck, and a family caught in the middle. Just this time, there's something from a galaxy far, far away thrown in the mix for good measure. It's a regression that feels shockingly derivative, with entire scenes that seem like they're cribbed from the original 1993 film, just without the heart and soul of that fantastic entry. The rest is a hodgepodge of reimaginings from other Jurassic Park movies. One thing I have learned from this uninspired entry, though, is to always be careful where you litter, because one errant Snickers wrapper can take down an entire research facility.
None of what you just said is good. This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
The worst of the worst. We're left here.
Yes, an overlooked Snickers wrapper leads to the ruin of this particular facility, where all the freakish mutated dinos were being studied and experimented on. The believability is laughable, as one very thin wrapper is sucked into the mechanism of what must be a military-grade containment door meant to keep the most dangerous dinosaur on the island at bay and causes a system failure. That's how the movie starts. It sets the tone and expectations, and that bar is pretty low. And just how many abandoned InGen facilities are dotted around the planet anyway? The movie's subtitled Rebirth, and it's made very clear that the worldwide dino dynamic from Dominion has been done away with. It's 32 years later, most dinosaurs have died off or live in zoos, and the remainder live around the equator, where the biome compatibility is much more amenable to their survival. Pretty quickly, we're introduced to Scarlett Johansson's character, Zora Bennett, and the shady exec, Martin Krebs, who works for Pharmagenics. Zora's a supposedly unscrupulous mercenary, looking to get out of the game, but she doesn't have the money to do so, and Martin is a slimy corpo, whose company wants to extract blood from living dinosaurs to analyze and develop a drug, which they claim could reduce heart disease by 20%.
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
There's an abandoned island the farmer bro knows about where they can find all the living dinosaurs they'll need, but the catch is that they'll need one sample from a land-based dinosaur, an aquatic dinosaur, and, you guessed it, an avian dinosaur. Also, setting foot on the island is illegal. And the pharma exec drags along an unsuspecting paleontologist, who's never seen the dinosaurs he studies in the wild. So Zora organizes a team to go on the expedition, and they set off on the high seas to sneak onto the island. Cut to a family on a sailboat consisting of a father, his two daughters, and the eldest daughter's annoying and lazy boyfriend. In general, the characters are okay, but a few feel uninspired, and the cutthroat mercenary group feels strangely unprofessional and incapable. The professor character is alright, but sometimes comes off as far too capable for a researcher stuck in a museum. The family, for me, was the worst. I like the dad, but there's a subplot with the boyfriend character and the father, and how he doesn't really respect him and vice versa, and who cares? It feels like generic filler. The problem is that the film splits time almost evenly between the family and the team, with them crossing paths fairly briefly on a couple occasions. There's just too much time given to the family and not enough focus on the mercenary team and what they're trying to accomplish, aka the main plot of the movie. Surprisingly, Scarlett Johansson feels really flat in this. Her performance is uninspiring. She's trying to pull off a kind of devil-may-care, blunt but jokey persona, and it doesn't really stand out. She's also the leader of the team, but she doesn't feel like a leader. People are doing what she's telling them to do, but something's missing. Chris Pratt's performance in the Jurassic World movies is far more memorable. Hell, Bryce Dallas Howard's character is too. That's a major problem with this movie. Most of the events, the characters, the dinosaurs, the environments feel unremarkable. Things look beautiful and impressive, but feel lifeless. There are several scenes that were clearly inspired by the first Jurassic Park, and then punched up in the CG department to go bigger and louder, thereby missing the wonder and magic of the original. are plenty of questionable moments here that ruin the verisimilitude. Aside from the candy wrapper causing an apocalyptic scenario on the island, a T Rex chews on an inflatable raft but can't put a hole in it. Very threatening indeed. People survive incredibly high falls without a scratch. There are so many near misses and coincidences that end up saving people you knew were never going to die anyway. It's predictable and breaks the immersion. So, a lot of scenes that are supposed to be tense and fun end up feeling just like road bumps on the way to the next scene. For me, anyway. There's also a noticeable lack of dinosaurs, or a lack of emphasis on the dinosaurs. They feel like bit players in their own movie. None are really built up to T Rex or Raptor level, or even the Indominus Rex. And the Rancor the trailer likes to hint at is hardly in the film. There are stand ins for the Raptors that look like vultures, but have none of the character or menace. If you want to see this movie for the dinosaurs, I'm afraid they feel lackluster as well. There's a hidden temple in this jungle that feels out of place in this franchise, but was clearly inspired by Indiana Jones. And then there's the Distortus Rex, or D-Rex, which director Gareth Edwards confirmed was partly based on the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. I can't help but feeling that he let his fandom for certain properties influence the direction of this movie a bit too much. It certainly did for the look and locations. He certainly seems to like the original Jurassic Park because so much of it bled onto the screen. And the dinosaur human interactions generally look worse than in the 90s movies. Sadly, it results in a film that feels unimaginative and bland, despite the vivid patterning the dinosaurs are covered with. It's not all bad. There are exciting sequences, and some of the dinosaurs are pretty cool. The vistas look beautiful, and it's competently shot. Overall, though, it's just not that good. I'd give this a 4 out of 10. It's below average. There's something off about the whole thing. It kind of feels like paint by numbers. Maybe because this is the 7th movie in a franchise that's never been able to fully recapture the wonder of the first. It's better than Dominion, I think, but if you've seen Jurassic Park 1 and 2, you probably don't need to see this. It's a mashup of those concepts and scenes with more CGI flair and less heart. I mean, it's called Rebirth, but nothing's being reborn here at all. Well, that's all I've got for now. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.